Hello there everybody. A quick video from a sunny Sundsvall to do a response to a thread that's been going on here lately at the vinyl community. The original thread is started by Chris Propfey, that I have no real idea who it is actually. I saw a video by Rachel the Music Mom, a response to this thread, and I thought, why not do a response? It is about covers that are better than the originals, which is a pretty interesting subject. My experience is that a lot of times it can have a lot to do also with which version you heard first, which also of course is depending on how much you play the original in a radio. But a lot of these songs that are covers were covered in the 80s. I heard the 80s version first, and the original older later. And being as I was so into the synth pop and the pop era in the 80s, of course that one got stuck with me first, that I thought that the original was a little so-so. So a lot of times it has to do with which version you hear the first, and then how of course the other version is made. But there are some covers that also I have no problems with covers as long as they are made in some kind of a different style. There are a whole lot covers that are made sounding pretty much like the original, and then it becomes immediately boring. And I know also in the early 00s and the late 90s there was a wave of Eurodance covers of old classic hits, and they sounded also pretty much boring. Of course, it was a bit different from the original, but you can tell that they hadn't been doing anything special with it, other than just putting on some trendy beats, and that's it. And then came others that had put on the same trendy beats. If you do something real special with it, then it is really fantastic actually, which is one of the reasons why I love the jazz pianist Lenny Tristano so much, because he takes these evergreens and do something real special with it, sometimes beyond that you can beyond recognition, that you can't recognize the original sometimes. But there are a lot of songs that actually are better than the original, and I know there were supposed to be 3 songs, but you know how I am. I always do some honorable mentions, so here comes a list of honorable mentions of songs that are better than original, but maybe without the originals being totally horrible. Well, those are not being shown here as an album, of course. Those were honorable mentions. My real choices are in almost most cases, every cases, versions that are complete change from the original. Rachel mentioned Pet Shop Boys, Always on My Mind. That of course was one of the best examples. Of course I'm not going to take that one because it's already been taken, I guess, by a whole lot more than just Rachel. But it is one of the best examples, as I think that original Always on My Mind is a bit boring, but Pet Shop Boys is one of my absolute favorites by them. But I chose, first of all, this one. I'm not going to say the original is totally bad. It is okay, even though I'm not a Beatles fan. But this one is so unique in its form, and that is Tina Turner's version of Help from 1984. And it's a parallel case here because there's another version of Beatles' Help that also is a bit better than the original, but I'm not going to take that one, but also some kind of honorable mention. That is Bananarama's version of Help. It's also a great one. But Tina Turner took a pretty great happy sounding 60s pop song and made it into a vulnerable, very, very sad ballad with a little gospel touch in it. Such amazing, well made, and it is a song that almost, if you haven't heard Beatles version, you could definitely think that this is a song of its own, composed by Tina Turner or something like that, because that is how unique it sounds. So definitely Tina Turner Help, original by Beatles. The same goes with this one, a 90s cover that I heard when I was a community radio host here in Sundsvall. That is a version of Under the Bridge by Red Hot Chili Peppers. And I think that the original is boring. I'm no fan of Red Hot Chili Peppers at all. Even they had done some okay songs, but I'm no fan of Red Hot Chili Peppers. And when I first heard this song, I was thinking, what is this? But this version grew on me real big. It is also so different from the original. That is a British band called Genocide 2. A band in a kind of dance genre. This Under the Bridge is more or less a drum and bass version of Under the Bridge, and I'm no fan of drum and bass, 90s drum and bass at all, but I thought that I think that this version is so unique and so real good. You can't hear hardly anything of the Red Hot Chili Peppers version here, other than of course the lyrics and so on, but it's so magnificent, funky and great, well made. So definitely worth checking out Genocide 2 and their version of Under the Bridge. And finally, a song that I think many of you know, original, is a little too go happy 60s rock for me. I no interest in the original, even if it's made by Elvis Presley. I think that one is pretty boring. So when I heard ZZ Top's version of Viva Las Vegas, that I don't have as a single unfortunately yet, but I have this compilation, I thought that one was so much better, because it is such a drive in the song. It's such a groove and a real fantastic produced. So definitely I think that ZZ Top's Viva Las Vegas is better than Elvis Presley's version. So those were my 3 choices to this great thread. It's interesting to see what other choices people have made. So I hope that you are satisfied with my response. And until next time, I hope that you have a real nice time, no matter where you are, no matter what you do. Take care and so long.